To move the needle on fair pay for women, we need more people truly committed. I was so impressed this year by Salesforce.com and Mark Benioff standing up as the CEO and saying, "I am going to ensure pay equity." What bothered me is people called it radical instead of the new norm. And I hope that we stand up and make pay equity the new norm.
There isn't a quick fix for the gender pay gap, clearly, not in our industry or any industry for that matter. Meaningful change will require that CEOs champion this issue personally within their organizations. It can't be delegated to diversity or HR functions. It must begin with the CEO identifying it as a critical business issue, seeking out the root causes in their organizations, and eliminating the barriers.
It will take two things to move the needle on pay for women, and one of those things is more important than the other. The first thing it will take is for women to speak up, demand pay raises, negotiate their salaries in job interviews in a way that they don't do currently. But the more important action is the second one, because when women do that, they run into all sorts of gender dynamics that are not favorable to them. And so it's crucially important that male leaders, CEOs, bosses understand and internalize the fact that the gender pay gap actively damages their business and therefore consciously reward high-performing women with the same salary levels, pay rises, bonuses as they currently reward high-performing men.
To do something tangible about pay equity, the first thing to do is look at the entry-level salaries. At that level, there really should be no difference between men and women. Then you have to look at the data in your organization. Where is the data breaking down where men and women's salaries are starting to separate? Are you looking at those people through the same level of quality and making sure that when you give them their reviews, you're looking at it equitably? To make a difference, we need to commit to pay equity. We need to commit to moving women at the same rate as men up the ladder in our organizations.
The one thing that every agency leader can do right now is sit down, take a look at your spreadsheets, at the salaries that are being paid to men and women in your organization, and implement one rule. To every department head, to the head of every division, say to them that before any other priorities, you want them to use their salary budgets to even out the gap and to make sure that women who are performing brilliantly for your organization are paid exactly the same as the men who are performing brilliantly for your organization. Make that a pay priority before any other consideration. Address that within your organization, and I promise you, you will see extraordinary benefits in terms of motivation, inspiration, and better business results.
I would tell her to work twice as hard as she thinks she needs to, and to not be afraid to ask for what she wants. I recall the first executive position I was given when I was promoted to vice president, and I asked our chairman why it hadn't happened sooner. And he looked me straight in the eye and he said, "Charlene, you never told anyone you wanted to be a vice president." That was a sobering moment for me.
You need to have no fear of arguing for a pay rise, for a bonus, for a better salary, is because all you're doing is being the business person your organization wants you to be.
For a young female professional, I do see things changing. When I was at the World Economic Forum this year, I see both men and women advocating for pay equity. It's a topic in our government today, and people are looking at it as a business issue and not a gender issue, which I think is a huge shift. What I would also say to young females, though, is make sure you become your own advocate. Negotiate on your behalf, understand your market value, and make the business case for that value.